Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Only Choose One Work by, fill in the blank. It would have to be, fill in the blank. Well, the by part, the composer is Albert Roussel, and the work is his Symphony No. 2. Number 2. Now, Roussel's more famous symphony is his third, which is marvelous, and it's fully characteristic of his late style, which is vigorous, rhythmic, harmonically pungent, neoclassical. The second symphony is a transitional work before, he began life as a sort of impressionist, and then he became more, let's say, symphonic in his thought. He started to integrate things in a more organic fashion, and his logical model for this was the Franck Symphony in D minor and the symphonies of the Vincent d'Indy school, which means, often in three movements with a organic kind of, use of cyclical form, that is, themes that appear or mottos that appear in every single movement. And in this particular case, this is just a work of genius. This is Roussel's own take on that kind of model. And it really was, without a doubt, a milestone in the history of French symphonies, particularly in the 20th century. This is one of the really great symphonies by anybody in the 20th century. But it is a difficult work for some audiences to accept because it's very somber. And it ends softly, which is, of course, the kiss of death. It has wonderful tunes. It has tunes you could actually hum. The motto is dum-ba-da, da-da-dum-ba-da-da. That's one of them. And the other is ya-da-da-ba, da-da-da-da-da. They're very catchy. They're very catchy, but it's the development along the way that's extremely intricate. And it's a beautiful work. The central movement is a combination scherzo and slow movement that has one of the most captivating tunes in the universe. And it really foreshadows Roussel's mature period. And that's one of the reasons why I choose the second as the only work to survive the coming music apocalypse, where the evil god Cancresans is going to destroy all of classical music, but for one work per composer, because this gives you his entire output in a nutshell. You get his early style, the impressionist style, the symphonic beginnings, and his late style as well. You get all of those things in one big, juicy, expressively powerful package. And I know Roussel isn't like the most popular guy in the universe. In our first group of 20 of these little chats, this list, we were focusing on the really big name composers because we figure, the idea there was that these really big name composers wrote tons of music, and we wouldn't want to just be stuck with one work by each one because they wrote scads of masterpieces. Well, Roussel wrote a good little scad of masterpieces himself, but he's not as well known. And if the idea was to convince the evil god Cancresans not to destroy classical music because these great composers wrote tons of stuff, now, there's going to be more of those great composers. There's a lot we didn't talk about yet. But there we're also going to be mentioning the fact, in passing, that there are a lot of what you might call second-tier composers who are only second-tier because they don't have recognition, not because the music isn't first-tier quality. But they deserve to be heard. They deserve a chance. They deserve to have their legacy preserved. And this is a wonderful exemplar of that which should be preserved. Really, you're not going to find a better French symphony, or any symphony, in the 20th century anywhere. If you like, for example, Shostakovich or Prokofiev or Piston or Martineau or any of these wonderful 20th century symphonists that we like to pull out once in a while. There's Malcolm Arnold, there's the whole British school, there's lots of wonderful 20th century symphonists. Roussel is definitely one of those. And the second symphony is, like I said, it's the greatest of his four symphonies. Hands down. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime extraordinary musical experiences that everybody should know. And if it's not something that strikes your fancy instantaneously, you give it a little time. It grows on you like a fungus. It will grow on you. Trust me. It's amazing. And it certainly deserves to be preserved. And for that reason, it is the piece by Roussel. There we go. See, I get them all mixed up. By Roussel that we need to save above all others. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.